Hi everyone! Welcome to Artsonia's After School Art Club. Today we have a fun art project from Miss Nerez, an art teacher from Texas. Hope you enjoy the video and don't forget to have your artwork uploaded to your Artsonia gallery.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Nerez and I teach art here at Lakeside Elementary School in Coppell, Texas, and right here with you. For this lesson, you will need oil pastels and colored paper, cardstock or construction paper. As you can see, I'm starting with a brand new pack of pastels. I'm going to start with a red and I'm going to choose a color of paper. I've done this with almost every colored paper. Today, I say I'm going with this one. So I'll start by drawing the apple first. I'm going to shift the apple over to the left just a little bit to work with the rule of thirds, and I'm going to draw the letter C. The rule of thirds states that if you center things off to the side, divide your paper into thirds and center them over those lines, then it's more pleasing to the eye. So now I'm going to draw my backwards C, and notice my apple did not turn out perfectly symmetrical, and that is okay. Apples in general are asymmetrical at times, so it looks good, but if you wanted to try to fix that up, maybe you could make this one go a little higher. If you ended up drawing your apple too small, then start drawing around it. It doesn't matter because we're going to be coloring this in, and so if you have to draw bigger to go around it, it'll work perfectly. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to put a layer of pastel in, and when I'm doing this, I'm using a curved method. Apples are round, so your lines when you draw should be curved to help the apple continue to look round. If you draw horizontal or vertical lines, your apple's going to look flat. Okay, so these pastels are brand new. I'm going to use them the way I typically would, is by peeling the paper off, breaking them, and using a half size to lay on its side to get more color filled in. So we're starting off with just a solid layer of red pastel, and then we will start adding areas of light and dark to help create the illusion that this apple is real and 3D and sitting on a desk. Okay, so we're starting to get a good layer of red, still using my curved lines. Now I'm going to pick out colors that I think will help me add lights and darks to this apple. So in this example, we're going to pretend that the light is coming from this direction, and so this side of our apple will have more lighter values, like we could use pink, peach, white, even yellow would help. On this side of the apple, we will have our darker values because the light is having trouble traveling around to that side of the apple. Now typically when you ask someone how do you make a color darker, you might say black, but you may also use a color that is opposite of the color that you made your apple, and in this case the opposite of red on the color wheel is green. So this dark green will actually help us make the darker value without it looking so black. So I'll start by creating the darkest area of the apple. Sometimes it's almost like you're drawing a crescent moon on this side of the apple. This will be the darkest value. On my next crescent moon shape, I'll press softer. And here, even softer. Now you can see I've added a really dark value on this side of the apple, a medium value in this little crescent shape, and even lighter here, and then we'll start moving into our brighter side of the apple. So the very brightest part of the apple should be on this side where the light is coming from. So I'm going to carefully outline this apple with white, which will mix with a red to create a light pink. We can also use pink. Let's give that a try. So just like the crescent moon on this side, the opposite shaped crescent moon on this side. You're following the curve of the form, the curve of this apple. So this would be my brightest. I can come back with that white and really press hard to get a little bit of a brighter spot here. But as I move closer to the dark side, I will lighten up my pressure and perhaps come back with red to blend some of these colors together a little better. So we're looking for a gradual shift from light to dark. The next thing I'm going to do is create the area of the apple where the stem comes out. I'm going to start with a dark green line there. Maybe I'll even add a little bit of black to that. I'm also going to draw a stem coming out of that. I'm going to make it thicker by drawing 2 lines with a small circle on top. Now, to show that this looks a little more realistic, we can add a little bit of light and dark to the sides of our stem. I'll use a black stripe on this side and a white stripe on this side, and it really makes it pop and look 3D. Awesome. How about a leaf? Maybe this side. Go ahead and color that in with green and then use some value with this as well. Darker on one side. Lighter on the other. Okay, this is looking great. I might need to touch up my stem just a little where I covered it with green. Okay, so let's talk background. I am going to have this apple look as though it is sitting on the teacher's desk with her chair in the background. And perhaps a chalkboard, like old school classrooms. Okay, so to fill in the color for this, I think I will need to peel and lay down my chalk pastel, my oil pastel, I should say. So for the desk, I'll fill in with brown, but I'm also going to be adding areas of light and dark for the desk as well, and I cast shadow for the apple. Okay, let's start adding some detail lines. I'm using black to kind of bring back the outline of the table where I've colored in. So if you notice, I'm not coloring with a great deal of pressure. I'm just adding little areas of color, leaving the background still showing. Okay, so let's do the shadow. This apple, if the light is shining here, the apple would have an oval shaped shadow cast onto the table, and the darkest part of that shadow would be right underneath the apple. And as it comes out, and we get a little lighter of a shadow, I want that to be gradual. So I'll make a little medium area here and lighter way out here. I'll even add an area with a lighter brown, and maybe even this tan I bet would help. where this light is shining the most on the table would be bright spots. We'll try this peach to brighten it up a bit. A little black in there. Okay, let's add some green to our chalkboard. It'll be like old school chalkboards. Sometimes they were black, other times they were a dark green. Careful when you go around your stem. Don't want to smear too much. All right, let's add another value of green to go with that. Really blending those two colors and values together is what really makes it look great. If you just stop with the one green, it doesn't look as worked. We're going to need a little outline over here. Maybe a little math equation. I like that. Let's do a fun color for the wall. How about a little blue to mix with that green background? That might look cool. One more color to go with it. What do you think? Purple? I love it when the colors blend. It's looking pretty good. How about a little bit of this mustard yellow on my chair? And my table? Oh yeah, I like that better. We'll make it really dark under the table. All right, that's looking great. What do you guys think? I love it. It's really fun in art when you can create the illusion of 3D space with a flat piece of paper. It looks round. It looks like you could dive in and have a seat at that table, maybe draw on the chalkboard, munch on an apple. Hope you guys had fun. I know I did. We'll see you next time.